Hey everyone, it's Kathy Cronin from Broken Roads. I'm here today for Amy Howard at Home to transform this desk using the new Miracle Paint. I'm going to use the color black, and between the Miracle Paint and all my other products, I think I can top out at maybe 4 products only that I'm going to be able to use on this desk and have it completely transformed. So let's get started with the first step, which is always going to be getting your piece clean, and that will be by using the Clean Slate. I'm going to apply Clean Slate to a dry, lint-free rag. And what you need to do is just add it onto the rag like this. I count to like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 maybe. And then just start gently cleaning your piece and running it across all of the areas, the surfaces that you're getting ready to paint. And then just constantly turning it. See how it's already getting a lot of that off of there? Good idea to get this thing clean first. That way all of your products will be able to adhere very well to the piece. Now you're just going to let this dry about 10 minutes, and then you can apply your paint or other medium at that time. It removes all the oils, waxes, dirt, grime, everything that would keep the paint from sticking. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll get started with the new Miracle Paint. I'm using Amy's 1.5-inch chip brush with the 1 Hour Miracle Paint in black to finish this desk, and I'm getting ready to do all the drawers. I've already done the base, and I'll show you that here in just a little bit, but I have to tell you that this paint is so smooth going on. It's so, it just glides really, really well. It feels light. It's a little tiny bit thinner than the regular one-step paint, so it's definitely takes some time to get yourself adjusted to it, but I love how it goes on, and the sheen that's starting to dry on the actual frame of the desk itself is a really nice kind of luster. Not the normal flat that you would see in the one-step paint. I'm loving it. You know, that's going to be the finish. I wouldn't have to add anything to the top of that. So I'm super excited about that part. That's why I said this may be only, 4 products or less to get this whole thing finished. So I'm getting ready to apply this to the desk drawers. And, you can just tell it is just a tiny bit thinner than the regular paint, than the regular one-step paint. And it's going to take 2 coats on this desk. I'm going to use the original hardware back on it once it's finished, so I didn't have to sand those fronts where the indentations were. That's something I normally would do if I was going to change the hardware out, but I like it, and it's going to stay with the desk. So you can tell this is just, it goes on so fast and so easily. I think you also have to apply that same theory of don't put on too much at one time. Let it dry and then go back over it again with your second coat. And if you need a third coat, especially in a lighter color, that you would do that at that time as well. Just to make sure that they're even, across the piece, and you don't get heavy spots that don't look consistent on the application itself. And it does definitely take a little bit longer to dry. The chalk-based one-step paint certainly doesn't take very long at all normally, depending on your humidity, 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes you can even put another coat on it. But with this in particular, it's going to take a little bit longer before I can add that second coat. I'm getting ready to do the top on this desk, and I'm going to use Amy's gel stain in English Walnut. And it is a lighter brown of the gel stains that she has. So this is a very red top. I'm hoping that this will just kind of keep it light and actually stand out a little bit from the black base of the Miracle paint that is on this particular desk. So I am using Amy's 2.5-inch chip brush to apply this gel stain. It's water-based. It goes on very easily, and it washes out very easily, and it smells wonderful. So just applying this, I'm also going to take a clean, dry, lint-free rag and just rub it over this after I've applied it to take off any excess. So we'll get this one coat on, and then if I feel like it needs another coat, we'll add a second one to the top and then move forward with the next step. One of the really neat things about the gel stain is that you can go back over if you see that it needs another application to make it darker. And in this case, the top actually was darker than the edge, even though this had been sanded down to bare wood. It was two different kinds of wood. So I'm taking my artist brush from Amy's brush options that she has, and I am putting this on to actually make it a little bit darker and blend in better with the edging or with the top. That's the great thing about gel stain, is you can add layers to make it look darker or add depth to it. And this seems to be blending in a little bit better. I like the artist brush because it has a lot of control, and it's a very soft bristled brush. It works well in my hand and accomplishes some small detail tasks that my larger brushes are not able to do. We've now finished with our 2 coats of Amy's 1 Hour Miracle Paint in black on this piece, and we've added to the top of it the gel stain in English Walnut. I really like the color against this black, and I think it'll tie in nicely with the handles that are going back on this piece. So the next step is going to be adding Mind Your Own Beeswax to the top. I'm going to put it on with Amy's 2-inch chip brush. So that just basically means I'm going to apply it, and I'll show you how that is done in here in just a second, and then let it dry. It typically will come to tack in about 20 to 30 minutes. I really prefer to wait at least a couple of hours, and most of the time I wait overnight just because for me it's easier to buff the next day after I had a lot of time to just sit. And you want to buff it with a clean, lint-free dry cloth. So let's get started on that. We're almost finished with this piece. Now before you start using the Mind Your Own Beeswax, the one thing you want to remember to do is to shake it up really, really well. You should just turn it over, hit it on my hand a few times really good, kind of shake it up because there is some of that liquid that sits up at the top. You want to make sure it's all mixed in there really well together. And then I just squeeze out a little bit on a piece of cardboard like this so that I have something to work from with my brush. Then I'm going to take my 2-inch chip brush and just sort of saturate it onto the brush, wiping it off against the cardboard just like this. And then I'm going to start running it over the piece. It does not take a lot, so just keep that in mind. You should be able to get quite a few strokes in with your brush before you have to go back and load more of the Mind Your Own Beeswax onto it. Y'all, look at this piece. It is gorgeous, and it only took 4 Amy Howard products to completely transform it. I used clean slate to ensure all the dirt, dust, grime, anything that would prevent the paint from adhering to it was removed from the body of this piece. Then I added 2 coats of Amy's 1 Hour Miracle Paint in black, followed by English Walnut Gel Stain for the top, Mind Your Own Beeswax on top of that, and then just a nice buffing to give it a subtle sheen. One of the lovely things about this paint is the finish itself. It has a very nice shine to it, but not too shiny. I just absolutely love it. And you don't need any extra products on top of the paint once you finish it. I'm excited to try new colors on other pieces that I have out here at the shop, and I can't wait to share them with you. You guys, thanks for being here today. Thanks for joining, and y'all have a wonderful week.